In this video, we're going to look at unit conversions, also known as dimensional analysis. This is a very important skill for us during this year in our first year chemistry class, but also will be useful for you in the future. So let's get to it. So according to Google Maps, if I wanted to drive from Center Grove High School to Fairbanks, Alaska, that would be about a 3,650 mile trip. So what if we want to know what that distance was in meters? Well, we need to do a conversion. Information that we need are the conversion factors themselves. So you have a conversion factors document. Image of it is here on the right of the screen. And we have a series of steps that we're going to use in all of our dimensional analysis, all of our conversions of one unit to another. It doesn't matter what kind of conversion it is, what units you are converting, this process will be used throughout this class. So this is what I call automatic. You're going to write the measurement with the unit to be converted. You're going to follow that up then with a multiplication sign and then a fraction bar. And then you're going to write the unit that you are trying to convert, in this case miles, on the bottom of that fraction bar. This is the automatic setup for every conversion that you are going to do. Once you get to this point then, we need to find conversion factors. So you're going to reference your page of conversions and find a conversion factor that has miles to another unit. Now in our list of conversion factors that you must use, we only have one conversion that has miles, and it is converting it into feet. So we're going to take that and we're going to put the numerical value for 1 mile, because that's our conversion, on the bottom, and then we're going to put the 5,280 feet on the top. Now the problem with this is that if we stopped at this point, we would have the unit of feet, but we want to have the unit of meters. So we're going to have to repeat some of these steps. So we're going to continue our conversion by adding another times blank, and we will put the unit to be converted underneath that blank. In this case, it's going to be feet. We'll then use our reference page to look up our conversion that has feet on it, and we see that we have a feet to yards conversion. So we're going to fill in the values for 3 feet, and then in the numerator, put our 1 yard. We still don't have the units desired. We have yards now because we've canceled out miles and feet, but we still want to have the unit of meters. And if we look at our reference page and we add another times blank, we put the unit of yard on the bottom because we don't want that unit, and we look at our conversion factors to see what kind of conversion we have between yards and whatever else. And if we look at those conversions, we see that we have a conversion between yards and meters. We now have everything that we need. So all that's left is for us to calculate things out. Because right now, the unit that we have is meters. And that's what the question is asking for. What is the distance from Center Grove High School to Fairbanks, Alaska in meters? Now we're ready to calculate it out. So you're going to use your calculator, and I would like for you to do it in this way because it avoids any kind of confusion as to what numbers to put in, what symbols you need to use, and just simply do this. You're going to move from the left to right. Your original value that you're converting. Then if a number occurs in the numerator, you're going to type the times, multiplication sign, and then the number. If you have a number in the denominator, then you're going to type a divide sign and then that number. If you have any numbers that are in the numerator or denominator that are 1, skip them. They don't matter. You're not going to hit enter between each calculation. You're going to have one string for all of the values that are in your conversions. Let's see how this is going to work. So we see that we've got our conversions set up and ready to punch into the calculator. On your calculator then, yours is simply going to put in 3,653 miles times 5,280 feet divided by 3 feet divided by 1.0936 yards. Notice we did not include any of the ones because they don't matter mathematically. And Anything that was on the top, we hit the multiplication sign before, and anything that was on the bottom, we hit the divide sign before we entered those values. Our calculator displays that, but if you were to write this answer down, we would need to make sure that we include the unit on that. In the future, we won't use all of the values that your calculator gives you. As a preview, this is how we would present this number in the future. We would use scientific notation, and we would chop it off a little bit and not include all of the digits. So let's try this in another problem. And this time around, we've got aspirin, and we have an 81 milligram dosage, and we want to find out how many grains of aspirin this is. Now, grain is an actual unit of measure that used to be used in apothecaries, or what we would now consider a pharmacy. So our first step is to go through and find our conversion factors, and we'll see that this doesn't quite cover everything that we need. So we're going to have our unit of grain. I'm going to give you a couple of conversions here that are going to help you out. 1 grain is equal to this many troy ounces, and then I've got a troy ounce to what we would consider our ounce value for weight. So we start off with writing out the value that we're trying to convert with its unit, times blank with the unit that we are converting on the bottom, because we want to get it to cancel out. We look at our conversions and we see that we've got a 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. This is a conversion that you'll have memorized, and it will not be given to you on a reference sheet. We don't have our grains yet, so we continue on. Times blank, we're going to have grams on the bottom. If we look at our conversion sheet, we have a grams to pounds conversion. In this case, 453.592 grams is equal to 1 pound. Again, we don't have our grains, so we're going to do another times blank, pound on the bottom, and we see that 1 pound is going to equal 16 ounces. We don't have grains. We need to continue with another step, times blank. We have ounces on the bottom. 1 ounce is going to equal 0.91146 troy ounces. And then we're going to convert our troy ounces, 0.00208333 troy ounces, to 1 grain. All of our units cancel out that we do not want, and we are left with the unit of grain at the end. Typing it into our calculator, get 81 divided by 1,000 divided by 453.592 times 16 times 0.91146 divided by our 0.0020833. Hit enter, and we get a 1.25. That's our calculator display, 1.250044333. Again, ridiculously long number. In the future, we won't use all of them, but that's for another lesson. And then we would write our answer and make sure that we include the unit. Some key points. This is a process. After you do this a few times with the conversions on the conversion sheet that I've given you, it's going to seem relatively straightforward and simple. But this is a step building a foundation for future use where you won't have conversion factors that you know. You're going to have to make them up as you go. You want to make sure that you're showing each step. You want to make sure that there's a unit on each number. You want to make sure that your units are canceling out. And keep in mind, it is going to get more difficult. So that's it for this quick lesson. Use this, reference it when you're going through and doing the practice problems that you have assigned for you.